When you are believing that there is something in your way, what you're essentially doing is you are creating an energetic barrier between you and what you desire, between you and what you're wanting to manifest. But when you're able to recognize that your so-called blocks are simply an illusion, a story that the ego is telling you to try and keep you safe and in the familiar, you can choose to dissolve them. You can choose to dissolve the resistance by shifting your attention, by shifting your identity. Resistance is just the illusion that we are not already that which we are seeking. Welcome back to the Abundance Club. Welcome to this episode. I want to share something today that I feel like holds so many of us back in manifesting when we are wanting to consciously manifest or bring something new into our reality. And this is something that I see with my clients, but it's also something that I've had an experience of moving through as well that has really held me back. So, what I'm going to share with you today is really going to help you to move forward, even if you are someone who has blocks, fears, resistance, limitations, these perceived blocks that tend to hold us back. Most people, when they embark on a manifestation journey, become really hyper focused on their blocks. They analyze their limitations, the past traumas, the fears, the resistance, often to the point where you feel stuck. And then there's this feeling that you need to clear every single block before you can manifest, before you can receive what you desire. So I want to really look at this in this transmission today about how you can still manifest even if you have these blocks, right? Even if you have these doubts, these fears, these limitations, because focusing on your blocks only reinforces them. So I'm going to debunk a little bit around what a lot tend to focus on when they're manifesting is this clearing of the resistance and this clearing of blocks. So this perspective that I'm offering today is really going to support you to shift your mindset around this, you to shift your perspective around your capacity to manifest with ease. So stay tuned to what I'm going to share today. But before we dive in, if you could take a moment to like, subscribe, or follow along from your chosen listening or watching platform, whether you're listening to this via the podcast platform or via YouTube, I would really appreciate that follow or subscribe. Okay, so first little reminder in this conversation that is important, something for us to remember when it comes to talking about our limitations, our blocks, manifestation, right? We are all human. We're human after all. We are meant to be imperfect. We have flaws naturally, right? We are meant to have limitations and doubts and fears. We wouldn't be here having this human experience if we didn't have these. So I want to make it really clear where I'm coming from here is manifestation is not about eradicating these blocks or eradicating these imperfections. It's about finding acceptance of our humanity and all that comes along with that, right? And knowing that we can still create, we can still manifest what we are here to do on this planet, on this earth, right? With these perceived limitations. I've manifested incredible things in my life, right? Most recently, in these last few years, my beautiful dream home that looks over the ocean that seemed inconceivable, that perhaps seemed impossible to my logical mind. A business sale in the last couple of years for the exact figure that I had, let's say, requested to the universe, put out to the universe, manifested. So I know this stuff works. It's not just what I'm seeing in my reality, but for those around me and the people that I'm working with. So in this process of the things that I've manifested over the last few years, quite big things, right? Quite phenomenal things. I still had doubts. I still had fears. I still had subconscious limitations. I was not free of all of that. And I still managed to manifest incredible things beyond my wildest dreams, right? Beyond logic and reasoning. So I think that one of the reasons we hold ourselves back from stepping up and taking the aligned action that we need to take in order to fulfill our role in manifesting, because we are co-creating with the universe, but for us to do that, we need to be able to take the inspired action. And I think one of the things that keeps us back is the focus that we tend to have on our blocks. And maybe this has been perpetuated in the manifestation community and in society about our, perceived limitations and, let's say, flaws, for want of a better word, that hold us back and keep us stuck. There is a lot of emphasis around that. So I really want to try and dissolve that in this discussion today. So our so-called blocks are just another way for our ego to stay in lack and limitation, which is its comfy place. Its inherent nature is that of separation, of lack, limitation, and scarcity. So it is going to reinforce and bring up our resistance and a feeling of not enoughness in order to keep us in this familiar, and I want to say familiar, therefore comfortable feeling of lack and limitation and resistance. And we buy into that so much. And I see this all the time. We continually buy into that. If we didn't, we would be actioning so many more things. We would be stepping beyond those fears and co-creating in a more confident and soul-aligned way. But it holds so many of us back because our ego thrives on identity, this creation, this perceived identity. It doesn't want to let go of the version of you that it's known. Even if that version of you is struggling or playing small or feeling unworthy, it would rather reinforce the belief that you're not ready, you're not worthy, or that you're blocked, then allow you to fully step into your power, because it believes in stepping into your power, you are naturally stepping into the unknown. And to the ego, the unknown is like a death threat because it's always seeking familiarity and control to keep itself safe. So in feeding our blocks, by holding ourselves back, by believing that we have blocks, that believing that we're not ready, we need to do X, Y, and Z to heal, to clear, what we're doing is we're continuing to reinforce the ego identity. Whatever we feed grows. Whatever we energize, we perpetuate. So when you are believing that there is something in your way, what you're essentially doing is you are creating an energetic barrier between you and what you desire, between you and what you're wanting to manifest. But when you're able to recognize that your so-called blocks are simply an illusion, a story that the ego is telling you to try and keep you safe and in the familiar, you can choose to dissolve them. You can choose to dissolve the resistance by shifting your attention, by shifting your identity. Resistance is just the illusion that we are not already that which we are seeking. And I'm going to get into that a little bit more. So the last thing we want to do is be fighting our blocks, right? We don't have to fight them, or you don't have to heal for years before you're allowed to receive. You just have to stop believing in them. It's like a story that keeps replaying that's not true. You can make the choice to stop feeding that story. And you can choose better feeling thoughts, better feeling beliefs that expand you, And in the expansion, we go to a new timeline rather than contract you and bring you back into the same reality that you keep living out year after year. So the question is then that you can ask yourself, who would I be right now? Who would I be if I no longer believed in my limitations? What would I be doing? How would I be moving about my day? How would I be acting? Who would I have around me? Right? How would I be feeling if I no longer believed in my blocks and limitations? So, right now, if you choose to see your resistance as an illusion and you wake up to the fact that you are everything you are seeking right now, you have it all within you. What would that mean for you? Just take a moment. How would that actually feel? Where does that land? Because what I want to share with you here is something really important when we actually take the word manifesting. Because I love language and words, and I'm a seeker. I want to really look into what is this showing me? What does this actually mean when we break it down? When we look at the definition of manifesting, one of the definitions here is the act or process of making something evident or real. So, what this tells us is that we are actually not creating everything. Creation is finished. Everything that exists, it's already created. It's already alive in the field of infinite potentials or the quantum field. So, everything that you desire already exists energetically. It's already alive. So you're not making it happen in a traditional sense. You're not even creating in a traditional sense. Because with creation, we have this idea of making something out of nothing. What you are doing in truth is you're aligning with it. You're allowing it to be revealed and you're dissolving the barriers, those previous barriers that have prevented you from seeing it and experiencing it in your three-dimensional reality. So your desires already exist. They exist within you. And the version of you who has those desires, the version of you who is living that reality is already real also. The version of you who already has your desires exists within you right now. Let that land. That version of you is here, alive, existing within you. The only thing that's keeping you from feeling and embodying that is the belief that that's not true. The belief that somehow you need to become something else other than what you are. The belief that somehow you need to clear and remove and heal and all of this before you are worthy of receiving. It actually sounds crazy when you speak it aloud. So it's the frequency already exists within you. The frequency of who you are living that dream reality or who you are living that desired reality already exists within you, waiting to be embodied. This is why I teach a very soul aligned, embodied way of manifestation rather than your typical manufactured manifestation where we feel like we need to get something out there, bring something in from out there as if we don't already have it. That's ego-based manifestation. So manifestation, it's about making what already exists, what already is alive, what already is here, evident in your reality. The desires that you hold are callings from your soul, guiding you towards your highest timeline. You wouldn't be feeling them. They wouldn't be in your field and in your awareness if they weren't meant for you right now to embody. The only thing that's keeping you from stepping into that reality is the belief that you can't, that you're not ready, that you haven't healed enough, etc., etc., etc. Right? Gosh, that holds so many of us back. It's held me back before. It's held many of my clients back, if not all of them back before. We've all bought into that illusion. It's very convincing. It's very alluring. So what we realize here is you're the only one getting in your own way, and you're the only one that can set yourself free. The only thing that keeps you from experiencing it now is the illusion of separation, a belief that it's far away, that you have to struggle, you got to work hard to get there. But the truth is, you're already the version of you who has it. Your only work is to align with that reality, dissolve the resistance by choosing not to feed it, by choosing to believe a better feeling thought and beliefs, and to become the embodiment of your desire. When we break down the word ego, it can be an acronym for edging God out. We want to focus on letting God in, letting in the divine, where we are in partnership, where we realize that the divine is within us and that we are in the divine. And so, can we move into a place of surrender and allowing and faith and trust that it is already so? Even just that shift is what's going to dissolve those barriers and dissolve that resistance. So the shift from the ego to divine embodiment is the shift from control to trust. It's from forcing to allowing. It's from limitation to expansion. It's the realization that you're not separate from abundance or from love or from your desires. You are already one within them. So it's time to allow the revelation. I love this word when it comes to manifestation, the revelation of your desires into your physical reality by choosing not to believe in your limitations, by choosing to align with the highest aspect of your being as if it's your most sacred priority every day. I teach soul alignment and soul embodiment, and this is the work. Manifestation is the byproduct of that. It occurs effortlessly when you are walking the highest timeline aligned with your soul, aligned with the highest aspect of your being. You are then tapped into your highest frequency. You know, you remember that you are worthy and you are ready right now to be in attunement, to be in alignment with those desires that exist in your heart. And you are the one to allow it to become evident in your reality. I really hope this helps. On Friday, I am hosting a circle. It's a new moon transmission and activation. It's Friday, the 28th of February at 6 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. And I invite you to join. I'll pop the details in the show notes, because this is a way on this, with this energy of this new moon, which is really attuned to manifestation and co-creation. And in this energy, it's about harmonizing with our soul. Because we don't create what we want or what we need. Often when we're focused on that, we're pushing it away. But how can we move into a harmonious frequency with that which we are wanting to call in? That's what we're going to be doing in this 60-minute circle on Friday. You can join for only $22, and that gives you access to a whole month within the Abundance Club membership, where you've then also got access to these amazing somatic practices, my guided meditations, and it's all to bring you into alignment with your soul. It's all to help you remember that you are already that which you are seeking, and to install a deep sense of connection and confidence and worth within you, so that you remember why you're here, and so that you move into a place where you can manifest with such ease and true soul alignment. So I hope that you can join me. Please feel free to share this episode. I would love it if you could give me a review or share your feedback and your comments of how you're finding this. Have you found, or are you finding that your blocks hold you back? Are you finding that this emphasis on the limitation is what's keeping you stuck? And is this freeing you to remember that you're already there? You are already there. You already have it. Let's move out of our way, open our arms to receive, and remind ourselves that we are so safe to call that into our reality now. I love you so much. Thank you for being here, and I will see you again really soon.